Ruffolo, Rod Zawacky from PuckDawgz.com, SportsChatPlace.com, and we're on our maiden voyage here. We always thought maybe it would never happen, but we've got the PuckDawgz show rolling, and you know what? This is what we were brought in for, right? I mean, Rod, you and I, this is what our original thing was.
That's what we're here for, right? We're here to get some NHL winners, us from Canada, Hey?
Well, I think that was the original plan here, was that you and I were just going to be brought on to talk hockey, and then Mitch never changed the locks, and we just kept letting ourselves in with that key that was hidden under the doormat. So
exactly. So, anyways, let's get at her.
Give everybody a couple minutes to sort of get in. This is kind of new. We kind of talked about when this was when we were going to start doing this. We never really put it out there. So give everybody a couple minutes. Hopefully notifications get sent out. I already see a couple people from YouTube streaming in, so hopefully that looks like a good sign. Man, it's different, at least for me, not getting up for the morning shows like I used to early on. At least that was different. But I mean, I can't really rub it in too much. You guys are doing pretty well without me. You didn't need me around. I was the heavyweight dragging down the back of the plane. So
there we go. Now I got a notification. Notifications.
There we go. Okay, we're good. I'm starting to see people funnel in now. Okay, that's good. Good news. Good stuff.
Right.
Oh man. So have they put out what the deal was with? I know San Jose had issues with COVID within the facility, but why we had another game postponed? There's still COVID issues on the other team as well, like contact tracing.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why, and I think that's why the game is listed for tomorrow. And if those contact tracing tests always come back, if they come back clear, I think that's why they'll play the game tomorrow.
Yeah.
Between the Blues and the Sharks.
We got Ashley Wade saying we need some value today with these big prices. I think we all need some value today with these big prices. These are going to be. I got to figure out where to put this where it's not going to interfere with anything. Yeah. We'll figure that out too. But
we were that close. Those Dallas collapse yesterday. We would have got the PuckDawgz parlay there, and when I gave out on the morning show.
What was it again?
All dogs. I took the Blackhawks, Dallas, and the Kings.
See, that's. I think that's a misconception about a lot of people say, oh, favorites are always going to win in hockey because the better teams always win. I can tell you from me personally playing hockey that the puck just has to bounce off the boards funny, and all of a sudden you find yourself down a couple goals. And these guys are still professionals at the end of the day. I mean, who's the worst team in the league right now? Is it still Detroit or Ottawa? I haven't even looked at the standings to see who's that far in the basement. But
well, it's definitely not Ottawa, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They've been winning.
Definitely not Ottawa. Ottawa has been winning and rising up in value. They haven't been stinking the bed. That's for sure.
Well, you know what? Statistically, technically, they are still one of 4 teams that are bottom of the league right now. But even then, these are still professionals, right? So,
yeah.
Oh well. Anyway, it seems like people are starting to roll in. So let's get this one going. We got the first game 7:00 Eastern. We got the Bruins minus 175 at MSG to take on the New York Rangers. And I don't know. These original 6 rivalries, at least to me, always seem like they're going to be hard hitting, even if you have fast guys and talented guys like your Panarins and your Zibanejads on the Rangers, and your Pasternaks and Bergerons on the Bruins. I don't know. What do you think?
For me, in this one here, I think the Bruins are going to be tired after their shellacking they took last night against the Islanders. I watched that game, and it looked like total collapse by the Bruins in the third period. The go-ahead goal, they just basically handed it to the Islander player and said, "Oh, here you go, here, just put it in our net." And then the typical Bruins, when they know the game's not going their way, they just completely give up. And all of a sudden, the Islanders, next thing you know, you turn around and it's they've scored 7. They didn't even pull the goalie, no mercy rule, just let him sit there and suffer it out the rest of the third period. So I know that Tuukka Rask will definitely be starting goal here for the Bruins tonight. So he's way better than Halak in there. So for me in this one, this has got 1-goal game written all over it, and I love the under. Goals are definitely going to come at a premium in this one, where I don't see a high-scoring shootout at all. The way the Bruins are playing tired legs, they're going to just sit back and play defense. And Rangers, without their top scorer, and are struggling to find the back of the net. So for me, I'm going to take the under 5.5. I like that as my best play on this game here.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I can't disagree with you there. I'm looking at this injury report right now. You know, like you said, and there are a couple people saying in the comments as well. Panarin's out for the Rangers. You got Kapo's out with an illness. Jacob Trouba is going to still be out till the end of March. This is just a banged up team. You look at Boston. Kevin Miller questionable. David Krejci questionable with a lower body injury. You know, I think I'm going to still lean towards Boston in regulation, just because I'm not laying minus 175, even if with the Boston Bruins on a back-to-back. But there's just too much at play for the Rangers here with me for me to, you know, deal with the Rangers on the money line or even on the puck line. The puck line's just got the Bruins on the back-to-back, so that's why I'm not comfortable with it. But like you said, 5 goals in the third period against an Islanders team that's known more of a defense-first team. That's it.
It was just a complete collapse for me. So I'm going to take the under, and because this is going to come down to who gets the lucky puck bounce. From what I've seen yesterday, I'm going to lean to the Rangers as well, and I'm going to put a little bit on the Rangers money line at this nice plus 155 price. Yeah. That's the Rangers and the under for me in this one.
Now, this is something I wanted to go back to. First of all, just for everyone, I'm going to give out the Bruins in regulation. I think it's around minus 110, minus 115, wherever you can find it. But, Raj, before we head on to the next game, I remember when we first started, you and I doing like the hockey stuff, you were very big on regulation plays in like 60 minutes. And even when we've been doing our hockey videos, you've been calling like the ties at the end of 60 minutes. For people like maybe who are new to betting hockey, where do you necessarily find the value in those three-way lines, and like how easy is it for people to find them on when they're betting?
Well, on most cases, you should have more than one book, right? So some books offer these three-way betting, some books don't offer these three-way betting, and if just as the reason why you're taking the Bruins here to win in regulation, you're getting down some of this juice at the Bruins at minus 175 on the money line. That's a lot to lay. When you think the Bruins can win it in regulation without having to play any extra time, that knocks off you get better value there because you're not having to lay this minus 175. Yeah. Especially when you look at teams, there's a lot of, you can see how many teams that go to overtime or tendency to play into the extra frames. That there are teams that you see every year, that certain teams, every year they come out, and it's not always the same, but I noticed that in hockey from year to year. You'll find that each year there's certain teams will play more of these overtime games than everybody else. So you keep an eye on those things. You can definitely find some good value with those ties, as evenly matched teams will tend to go to the extra frame in hockey more than anything else.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Three-way is kind of like soccer, same kind of betting style. It's like the tie and the goal and a half.
Yeah, I mean,
or baseball. It equates to baseball betting with the run line and or that kind of idea on hockey betting.
Yeah, and like for anyone who's trying to sort of see the numbers that Rod's talking about, I'm just trying to pull up the standings from last year because I remember there was a team that made the playoffs last year. And I'm just trying to pull it up right now, that I think they had 15 losses in overtime and a shootout. And those were just losses, and you had to imagine that they probably won some of those games too. And that was a condensed 69-game schedule. So that just goes to show you how many times, the Bruins lose 12 times in overtime or in a shootout, and then they probably went to an overtime or a shootout as well. Columbus, 15 overtime losses. New Jersey and Ottawa, 12 overtime losses. And they're not always losing those games. So there's a ton of value at plus 300 to even take a shot on just with a team with the game going to overtime at the end of 60 minutes.
Yep, exactly. So why not take that 3-1 shot on teams like that you see that are that you notice that are playing more overtime games than anybody else. Like you can look at the standings and stats and see. Like Columbus, they've played 5 already. Chicago's played 4 already. Montreal's played 4 overtimes already. Just to name a few that I can see right now.
Yeah. So then that's going to kind of bring us into our next game, a game that we both think are going to be close for this one. We got the Los Angeles Kings paying a visit to the Minnesota Wild, and again another steep line for two teams that are playing really really well right now. Got the Kings on the 6-game win streak, the Wild on a 4-game winning streak. I know, Rod, you mentioned you had the Kings in that near parlay yesterday, and this is going to be a good one. Where are you at in this one?
For me in this one, you got to stay with the hot team here. Kings are 6-0 in their last 6 games, and they've only given up 2 goals in those 5 games. So the defense has been rolling, but I'm also going to lean to the over, as the offenses on both of these teams are scoring. Minnesota's ranked 10th in offense, scoring 3 goals a game. The Kings are also ranked 12th, scoring 3 goals a game. So for me, that gets to the over. I think this is a 4-3 game all day. I love the over, and I'm going to take the Kings. This also means this is also, I might even sprinkle a little bit on one of those what you just talked about, this game to go to overtime, as the Kings in Minnesota, the way these teams have been playing lately, I could definitely see this game going to overtime.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards that way as well. I'm on the under, and we talked about this before we went on the air. I think we're butting heads on this one just because you look at, yes, both teams have got their offense going, and both teams are actually in the top half of the league offensively. But you look at what the Kings have done. They're winning 2-1 against St. Louis, 3-0, 3-2 against Arizona, 4-0 against this same Wild team less than a week and a half ago. So these two teams are just playing low-scoring hockey games, and I think that's what's going to serve the Kings the best if they want to try to keep this winning streak going. The Wild usually play a physical style, anyways. I think it's going to end up being low-scoring. I think it's 2-2 going into the third, and then we eventually need overtime. So, like you said, if you can get a nice, decent price on that overtime on the 3-way 60-minute line, that may be a nice value play for everybody. But got Ronnie Ryland here also saying that loving the puck line, the plus puck line this year. Blackhawks and Oilers treating us right, and there's certain spots where I can't disagree with that. I mean, Mitch joked around on the morning show the other day at the Vegas Golden Knights plus 1.5 at minus 200, just against I think it was against Colorado, and it was just it's one of those things that you just got to find value spots in the plus puck line. I mean, I don't know, Rob, what do you think on that front?
Well, exactly. For me, some of them plus 1.5 goal thingies are just way too juiced for my liking. I don't want to play plus 1.5 as minus 220. But I guess for people playing the parlay, I guess some of those are not bad. Look at the Kings numbers on the plus 1.5. Like even tonight's plus 1.5 is minus 175. That's what you're going to lay with if you want to play Boston money line. Yeah. and you get a goal in hand in this game. There is nothing wrong. I don't see anything wrong with that one tonight. If someone think this is definitely a 1-goal game and you want to throw the Kings plus 1.5 into a parlay, well, I think that's a good bet. Yeah. There's a 1-goal game all day.
And I'm just watching the comments, and DX Filer makes a good point here. The point that I was about to make: those empty net goals can ruin the plus puck line, and just absolutely just is a backbreaker. And on the other side, though, how many times have Rod, you and I talked about it off, when we're messaging each other during the games, how we need that empty net goal for the puck line, and having that plus 1.5 kind of saved you when the teams don't hit the empty net.
Yep, exactly. I think I've been burned I don't know how many times on the puck line this year. So it happens, and I've noticed this year that the empty net goal has been down from recent years. Yeah. So maybe the empty net's trending down a little bit. Teams just want the win. They're not trying as hard to shoot the puck the length of the ice and take pot shots and do 10 icings like they normally do. They just kind of like doodle the puck up high into the neutral zone. It's what I've been noticing.
I think I might actually get this tattooed on my forearm. It says, empty netters can make you an empty better. I like that. You know what? It's true. You don't want to be in a place where you have to rely on that empty net goal. It's a nice luxury to have if you're, in a tight game and you need that one extra goal. That's where hockey gives you that extra variant that that we always talk about. That in what other sport are you going to see that you can pull the goalie? And it gives you the added benefit to that extra lifeline if you have the team to win by 2 or whatnot. But I definitely think that there's pros and cons to the plus puck line, just like there are with anything. But you know what? For the last game, we're gonna stroll out to the desert. You got the Colorado Avalanche paying a visit to the Arizona Coyotes, the Gila River Arena. And man, another juiced line. This one's a juiced road favorite. I mean, you got the Coyotes plus 150 at home, Avalanche minus 170 on the road. Over under 5.5. Rob, what do you think of this one?
For me in this one, I like the Avs to bounce back in this one. So far, what we've seen, their offense would look pretty anemic against the last time they played against Vegas and didn't even get a goal. But these Avs are the kings of the bounce back. What I've seen is when that happens, when the Avs don't score a goal in one game, they bounce back and they blow teams out 8-0. The game right after. So the Avalanche are 8-1 in their last 9 games following a loss of 3 or more goals. So for me in this one, there's only one way to go. I'm going to take the Avalanche, and I think this game goes over. I think both teams. We're definitely going to get over the number in this one. I love to see. We're going to see some goal scoring.
I think this is another one where you and I are going to butt heads on the total. I see this being an under, just because it's hard for me to trust Arizona on a consistent basis for them to score on a game-to-game basis. Like it's not what this Arizona team's been. Granted, you've got guys like Connor Garland and Christian Dvorak that are stepping up their offense after sort of being in the shadows last year, the last couple of years for Arizona. You still got Phil Kessel over there, but Phil Kessel's still snacking on his hot dogs mid-game, having 4 in the intermission. and you still got, a bunch of guys that just, for whatever reason, can't find the back of the net. And the goaltending at times has been up and down, but they're still resulting in lower scoring games. Granted, I say that, and, the last 3 games against, Arizona and the Ducks, and against the last matchup against the Kings, all 3 of those went over. But then again, it was a total of 5 even, and how often are we seeing totals of 5 flat? We're normally seeing 5.5, 6, 6.5. It's not often that you're going to see a total of 5, and when you see totals of 5, those ones usually go over. I mean,
how about for me, the over is 5-1 the last 6 meetings in Arizona. Yeah. So, and they're over is 3-0-1 in the Coyotes' last 4 when their opponent scores 2 goals or less in the previous game. The over is 8-2-1 in Coyotes' last 11 when their opponent allows 5 goals or more in the previous game. So there's your 5-goal number right there. Jumping back on the over. Those are just the trends and numbers that I'm looking at. They all scream the over for me. Over is 6-0 in the Avalanche's last 6, following a loss of 3 or more goals. So, but that's but if you want to look at it your way, the under, the last 6 overall that the Avs has been to the under. Yeah. So like I said, but I think this is a game that their offense breaks out of its little slump and pounds the Arizona Coyotes. I'm going to take the Avalanche on the puck line here. Get some nice plus money. And I like the over. So,
I'm going to take the Avs in regulation in this one. Like I said, just to get the price down. I'm with Rod on that side. I do like the Avs to get the job done tonight. But as far as the puck line, like I said, if it wants to coincide with my under, man, it's going to have to be like a 3-1 game or even a 2-0 game, and again, I don't know how far I'm willing to go onto that one. But you know what? I still think the Avalanche do win this game, and just to get the minus 170 down, I think we can take a regulation play. But just before we get to sort of maybe our top play of the day or something like that, it's still our maiden show, so we're still trying to figure this stuff out on the fly. Right, I do want to ask you. I know I'm not trying to spring this on you because this was something that we didn't talk about. Something I've always wanted to ask you. Do you give? I know you talk about it, but how much weight do we really put into teams that you mentioned have are 5-2 after their opponent scores 2 goals in the in the last game. I mean, for me, it's just been more of like, okay, well, you can't help who you play, and each team's going to play a different style when you go in from game to game. Granted, you talk about being on like a scoring streak and having like a nice little a run of offense going, but at the same time, defensively, if you're like, oh, they're 0-6 after giving up, 2 goals or less in the previous game, it's just like, okay, well, what are you hoping for, regression to the mean at that point? I mean, I don't know. That's just where my mind's at. I kind of want to see what you think about that.
See, for me, trends are made to be followed. Some trends are made to be broken, right? You got to watch. There's certain trends, and just like our fellow capper Tony Brown said the other day, in hockey, trends usually run for a long time. If you look, like I said, that's 9-1 in that same situation that I just talked about with the Avs. For it to get to 9-1, you gotta definitely have a little bit of faith and take a little bit of a weight into trends like that have been rolling. So I definitely take some. There's certain trends that you can take some that you weigh a little more heavy than other trends, right? Yeah. Like, yeah. But then trends are like you look. There's someone that's 0-6. Is this the time to go opposite and go contrarian? I've done that too with trends. But you come back. It comes down back to the basic capping of the game. Cap the game and see what you come up with.
Yeah.
And then go from there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the basic solace of anything. You do your homework and come up with your winner, and then see if some of these coincide with some of these trends coincide with what you've come up with as your own selection for the game. And that's where you make your bet.
Yeah.
These trends are they kind of help you out, right? They're like kind of boost you. They're like, yeah, I like this, and you're all like happy, and then you start reading, you're like, look at that! Even this trend even likes my pick here today on the Colorado Avalanche on the puck line. See?
Yeah.
As the bounce back team to score a whole pile of goals on their team when they don't score nothing the game before.
Yeah, fair enough. So. We do say this a lot on all the live shows and the morning shows and whatever. If you guys have picks, leave them in the comment section underneath after the video's been posted. That way we can kind of go back and talk about everything, and see who we agreed with and who we didn't agree with, and right or wrong. Like I always say, this is a family. We're not always going to agree, but that's the beauty of this, is that you get a bunch of different viewpoints and you get to sort of state your case, and we all get to razz each other a little bit. But again, it's all in good fun. We all want to see everybody succeed. We all want to see everybody do well. If you guys could just smash the like button for us, really appreciate it. It doesn't cost you guys anything at all, actually. It's right underneath the feed. You're already watching the video, so you just give us a thumbs up, helps us out. But you know what, Rod? Do you have a best play for the board today? I know we didn't really talk much about premiums. We already covered that on the morning shows and stuff like that, but a best free play maybe for anybody who tuned in?
For me, I've got a NHL birdcage for you right here. I have no hockey premiums in today on the small light card. So as the premier inauguration of our the PuckDawgz show, I've got a 3-team birdcage for you. I'm going to take the New York Rangers on the money line, the Kings on the money line, and the Colorado Avalanche on the puck line. And I'm going to parlay those 3 up as I jump into the hockey. And hope that hits. Big parlay tonight.
For me, I'm gonna stick with a couple of the ones I gave out. I think Rod and I are the same on some of these sides. I like Boston and Colorado to both win in regulation. Give out a nice little 2-team parlay. Get maybe 2 or 3 times your money heading into the weekend. Build up a nice little bankroll. But just to address a couple things before we head off, and we appreciate everyone for tuning in for our maiden voyage with the PuckDawgz show. But we're still going to work on an official schedule, like an official time slot. Today was just we wanted to make sure we got on the air, and we wanted to give enough time for this to breathe and for everybody to get their bets in and do the research, even though it's a smaller card. On the weekends, I believe we're gonna go right after the morning show. And we're also going to try to have extra guests on here as well. Maybe some of our premium cappers if they want to stay in, or maybe some of the guys from the morning show. what have you. We're gonna try to get some special people in here for you guys, but
yeah, look like 12:30 Eastern time.
I think 12:30 Eastern. No,
12:30 Eastern will be is I think is a good time. That gives us enough time in between the morning show and doing the premiere YouTube show. I think 12:30 Eastern is good. And if there's some early games, then we might come back on a little earlier, right?
And you know what? So. And even if we cut it close with those games, it'll still be early enough that you can probably get some good in-game live betting right off the puck drop. It may not be the opening lines, but you know we'll do our best to get those in there for you guys because you know weekend hockey it's always coming up at least with a couple afternoon games. But like I said, we're gonna try to get that done. We're gonna have a more firm time slot. Just gotta discuss it behind the scenes. But like I said, tomorrow and Sunday probably go right after the morning show, and then Monday we will have a set time where we're just going to be able to go through all the hockey games. You know, it'll be in the evening, so you guys have plenty of time to get the bets in, plenty of time to rewatch this. You know, try to figure out how we got to those certain games, how we got to those certain picks. But
you bet.
Let's
wrap it up.
As far as I can tell.
Time to go.
Yeah, it was time to hit the road. time to get the Zamboni out on the ice. But we appreciate everyone watching. Thank you so much for tuning in, and guys, hopefully be the first of many. So appreciate it. We'll see you guys either for the premium YouTube at 5, or we'll hopefully see you guys at the drive-thru at 6 o'clock. So stay tuned. Again, thank you for watching. Everyone have a good one.